Gang, I hope you are very, very well. Welcome to a brand new video slash podcast. We are going to get straight into today's topic, which is basically regarding when to leave your full-time position to become a full-time online coach, okay? Now, obviously, if you are a part-time online coach, you kind of got, depending on how seriously you want to take it, but you kind of got two full-time jobs, right? You probably have your full-time position, which actually is like financially secure and stuff like that, but then you've also got like online coaching. If you want to make online coaching work, you kind of got to work your ass off for it, okay? So some of you might be working like 50, 60, 70 hour weeks trying to make it work, and you're thinking like in your head, like, when can I actually go full-time with this, okay? And ultimately, I think that the best one of the best things you can do is actually just make sure that you are secure, and I suppose like not just jumping in at the deep end. I think one of the worst things you can do as an online coach is just jump in when you feel like you've hit like 2-3k months and you've done that once and you're like, yep, fuck it, let's go. The reason why I don't like that is because it carries a large amount of risk. Now, obviously, you might be rewarded. However, if I am one-to-one mentoring someone and they say, I want to leave, I'll actually pull them back a little bit, because what will actually happen is say, for example, their main job is carrying like 2 to 3 grand a month. Then they've also got their full-time online coaching gig. They're kind of used to like 4, 5, 6 grand months if you combine the two. Then automatically you're dividing it in half, obviously, right? But you'd never ever want to be in a position of like desperation. So say, for example, you're used to earning 4k months and then you're in the 2k month region. Now you're a full-time online coach. What happens if that automatically drops down to like 1500, right? Obviously it might not happen, but what happens if it does? Okay, you're then operating from a place of desperation, and people, especially on Instagram nowadays, can sniff out desperation from a fucking mile away. Okay, so you never want to be operating from a position of desperation, right? So you want to feel secure, right? You obviously want your partner's backing. That makes the most sense, but you definitely don't want to be in a desperate position as a full-time online coach, okay? So in my opinion, if you're hitting like consistent 4 to 5k months, do it, okay? Makes the most sense, with your partner's consent, of course. That needs to be a conversation, right? But yeah, don't just hit like 3k month, for example, and then think, I'm good, right? Just make sure that it's consistent, right? Because again, like operating from a place of desperation is not a good thing. It's not a good place to be, okay? And I see this with coaches all the fucking time. Someone comes to me for one-to-one mentoring and they're like, I left my online coaching job. I left my job for online coaching 2 months ago. I went from 3 to like 1500. Can you help me? And I'm just like, it's actually quite hard, okay? So just make sure you're not in a place of desperation, okay? The other aspect of this is, which is quite deep actually, but you're only on this earth for a very short amount of time. So if you feel very unsatisfied and if you feel unfulfilled with your normal job, right, and you think that online coaching is actually giving you a little bit of satisfaction, then yeah, obviously making sure you're secure, that's when you've been in your full-time job, okay? Because you never really want to be in a place of, I hate my fucking job. I've been there. It's probably the worst I've ever felt about anything. I was stressed, I was anxious all the time, I fucking hated my life. But now I fucking love it. I'm doing what I love, right? So yeah, I suppose like when your job is no longer satisfying and you fucking hate that job and you're secure, good, okay? And I can tell you now, handing in that notice is one of the best feelings you'll ever have in your whole entire life. And nothing can replicate it. And nothing can take it away, by the way, because all of that hard work before it led up to that moment, okay? It's an epic feeling. I mean, even if you don't necessarily like your job, but coaching is more satisfying, I'd still jump in at online coaching, because you'd always want something to be satisfying, okay? And some people, by the way, they love coaching, but they like their job. They love their job even more. So some people can just have like a part-time job indefinitely, which is absolutely okay because you can use like online coaching as a bit of a like pension pot, which is absolutely fine. I think that everyone thinks you have to be a full-time online coach. You don't have to do shit, right? Which is the best part about this is like some people can take it to the moon, some people can earn 20k months, but some people are just happy earning 3 or 4k on the side, which is absolutely fine, right? I still think you need to be able to market, well, especially this day and age, you have to be able to market effectively to even get to that level. But if you're at that level, yeah, and the full-time job is offering that level of satisfaction, and online coaching is slightly behind it, don't leave for that, because this is then going to turn into that job that you hate. So it's stupid, right? I will say that most leave too soon. Just make sure it's right for you, and don't just have it as like a weekend thought process and then go and do it. Like, have it as a continuing month-on-month thing. You know, when someone says like sleep on it, yeah, definitely do that. And again, have conversations with people. Now, understand there's going to be risk, and understand there's going to be friends and family who you're going to be talking to who potentially are going to highlight that risk, right? I suppose like any business is going to carry a risk, but it's also going to carry a massive reward. It's a bit like stocks and shares, right? When you put your money into the S&P 500, you're not automatically guaranteed like a return on that. You can actually decrease in with that money. You know, it's a risk, but the risk or the reward, to that risk is the reward's massive. Okay, and so's the reward of online coaching. Like if you went all in with online coaching, you could be earning 20, 30, 40, 50k months. That's the reality of it, right? But again, you have to come at this from a place of passion, and you have to be secure, because if you're not, you're desperate and broke. And them two in a concoction, in a mix, are fucked. Okay? But yeah, ultimately, this is your call. That's the main thing, right? Because again, friends, family will tell you not to do it. They did me. They're no different, but they're honestly trying to look out for you. That's the most important thing, okay? But yeah, my best piece of advice is obviously leave secure, leave when you're passionate. And if you're passionate and secure, you're in for a hell of a ride, okay? But don't jump too soon. That's the biggest piece of advice. I would also say if you're financially set, you can invest a lot of that online coaching money back into the business so it fucking grows, whilst you're basically assessing and addressing whether it's actually right for you to take the leap. Then once that's all good, then you've had the money that's just basically sat in a pot, reinvesting, earning 7k a month, 8k a month, 9k, because you're consistently investing in your online coaching business. Then that grows. Then you're in a position where it's like, oh, this is earning like 11, 12, 13k months. This is no longer satisfying. This is, and then you go, right? That's probably one of the best ways to go about things. People like, you know, and people say, if I had to start my online coaching business again, would I do things differently? Me personally, no, because I literally was a full-time online coach, and also I had a full-time job which I was secure, and I basically slowly built it, and I invested everything that I had back into the business. Then when I was basically secure, then I took the leap. I didn't take it in like month 2 of starting online coaching. I did it in actually year 3, right? So I actually just sat there, and I was pretty much financially secure in like year 2. I could have gone, but I waited, invested, secure. Now it's right. This job's no longer satisfying. This is, go. So when someone says, would you do it differently? Like if you had things again, would you do things differently? Nope. So yeah.